90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the voice of Emily Emol McCormack. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Chris, just Chris, still Chris, always Chris. And it is we're in the diary room again. We're in the diary room again. We're still here.
You are tuned in just in time to listen to what may be a favorite Big Brother commentary show. But joining the diary room today, we have another friend. Please introduce yourself.
I am John, the Shadow.
John is shadowing the diary room today, and we cannot be more excited. John came in the room, we're like, you watch Big Brother? And to our surprise, I heard yeah, I've watched Big Brother. Like, yeah. So
What a coincidence.
y'all are in luck. We are going to recap. Where are we? Week 9? Week 9. Ooh, we're already.
Dang.
I think it's currently day like 65
Yeah.
in the house.
8 people left.
There's 8 people left. Dun dun dun.
Ah.
We're officially in jury territory. The last time y'all heard us on air, we did not have any jurors yet because we're a Thursday show now, alas. And so a week ago, we were talking about what we think was going to happen with last week's HOH reign and what was going to happen with the vote between Chemo and Quinn.
Mm.
We're going to
Right in. This
we're
is
gonna-
past news.
Now we're going to talk about last Thursday briefly, because if you are a frequent watcher of the show, you already know what happened. But here are according to my notes that I took during Sunday's recap of Thursday, because I was too overwhelmed on Thursday. This season's twist, there was an AI theme. There was an AI arena every Thursday. So there were actually 3 nominees each week. But last week was the very first week this season where there were only 2 people on the block. And we were looking at a Chemo versus Quinn. For context, Quinn has my whole heart. I love Quinn so much. Despite him not being on my draft, I did not care. I still do not care. Alas. One of my first notes is that Angela has been telling Chelsea there's a large group working together. And Chelsea tells Mackenzie, the veto winner, to use the power of veto on Angela.
Number what? This
would be the
third one?
third time that the power of veto is used on Angela. Also, this was not revealed on Wednesday. So a week ago, they left us on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
So we found out pretty early on that Mackenzie, despite saying, I will not be using this veto, does.
We did talk about how she did though, right?
We did because
they
of
showed it,
spoilers.
yeah.
We did a spoiler alert. And that makes this season, up until this is week 9, the veto has been used every single week. And a third of it on Angela.
That's ridiculous.
This is week 9. It's been used on her 3 times. I continue to say,
She's got a Josh case.
say what you will about Angela. She's slaying.
She has
Slaying.
currently, in my opinion, out of everybody left in the house, let's take a quick look. Out of everybody in the house, I am confident in saying she has the best game
Really?
all around.
Yes.
Even regardless of her tantrums and outbursts, that just adds to her allure. Because, like, yeah, sure, she can yell at somebody and call them a bunch of mean names, but she's still here and she's had the veto used on her 3 freaking times.
Yes.
So she's obviously doing something right.
You can't have a bad game and have the veto used on you thrice.
Exactly.
Not even the ones that she won.
It's just like Josh. They actually like her. They like her.
Yes,
They just don't want to say.
I do.
I do too.
I have the whole time.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela, for people were convinced that the season was over when Tucker left. I was like, no, we still got Angela.
We still have Angela.
She's crazy. I love her. I love her so much. And so after Mackenzie says, I will not be using the power of veto, especially not on Angela. Imagine like Matt's reaction.
I didn't even think about that.
Week one, when Mackenzie and Matt were kind of in a showmance, and then Matt immediately gets evicted on Angela's HOH. Flash forward 8 weeks later.
After she verbally assaulted him as well.
Exactly.
May I also add.
Mackenzie is now using the veto on the person who got her showmance out. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Okay, Mackenzie. Okay, Angela. Therefore, so at this point, who was even on the block?
It was so after Angela took her off.
Well, who did she replace?
I believe it was Angela and it was Leah. Yeah, it was Leah. Angela and Leah.
Angela. No. It was chemo. It was.
No, it was Leah.
Wait, I'm looking.
Or no, it might have been chemo actually. Man,
it was chemo.
I think it was chemo.
No. Wait, because chemo. Yeah, wait. It was Angela and chemo.
Yes.
And then Angela comes off the block.
Yes.
Yes, that is what happened because then.
Oh yeah, because it was between the reason. Okay, I got confused because the replacement nominee was between putting Leah or Quinn up.
Yes, exactly. And this is Chelsea's decision between the two, and this is important. Chelsea decides to replace with Quinn.
Quib.
Sick Nasty himself is now on the block, much to my dismay. Hashtag lesbians for Quinn. Shout out to my dogs at the crib. Shout out to the Quinn fans on Twitter. We were all very, very sad to see Quinn go on the block. And honestly, I see Quinn go up there. I'm like, okay, we're done. We're done. But you never know. What's interesting is supposedly on live feeds, Quinn shared, it's okay, this is not a backdoor. Which got me thinking. Because he was quite literally a replacement. And what I did not realize, and what I've heard again through talking about the live feeds, not myself, just talking online, technically what makes a backdoor is if the veto is used and someone is replaced, that person goes up. But Quinn played in the veto.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's not a backdoor.
Also,
but I've never thought about before.
The decision to put up technically, like a double technically, the decision to use the veto was a last minute decision for someone who was not considered to be a pawn. So technically, I guess you would say that a backdoor has to be someone who was originally put up on the block for the purpose of being a pawn. At the beginning of the week, the target was Angela.
Oh, that's so true. So not a backdoor this week. Double backdoor. This is just the front door. That's
what got front doored.
Got front doored.
Front doored to none other than not Jules.
Oh, yes. So, Julie Chen for the first time ever was not on Big Brother last week because she had COVID. Womp womp.
Womp.
She's okay. I know she's okay. She was posting on her story like throughout the day, like I will not be there.
Is she going to be here tonight?
I would assume so.
I hope so.
And I believe it was Jerry O'Connell.
Yes.
Was the
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry. The H of H himself.
The host of The Talk?
Yes. He's a host on The Talk. And my notes was in old caps. Julie had COVID.
And then the one right under it
is my next note is goodbye, my love. Because there, of course, the vote between Quinn and Chemo, Angela and Leah were the only two to keep Quinn, and the rest of the house voted to keep Chemo. Therefore, Quinn has been evicted.
I can't believe they almost got Chemo out. They were so close to saving Quinn. That was quite ridiculous.
You know what the only redeemable part of this episode was?
Shout out my dogs at the crib.
We got another shout out to my dogs at the crib. Thank you. Shout out to Cam and his dogs at the crib. I was really sad for Quinn. Well, first of all, I thought Quinn had a good chance of winning the whole game. And
me too.
I wanted him to. But he's a super fan. And he didn't even get to have his goodbye with Julie Chen. It was so unfortunate.
But at least he made it to jury. He's going to get to see it on finale night. Quinn, so that's a silver lining.
Officially the first member of the jury for BB 26. And Goodbye, my love Quinn. Wah will still be played, as well as Sick Nasty will remain in my heart. Emol, Sick Nasty, McCormack. I may be known as such moving forward. All right. We have one more important note for the end of Thursday. Ainsley, the AI entity of the season, appears in the house and says she is going to leave. She's gone for the week. She needs a vacation or something.
Yeah.
She's also reeling from the loss of Quinn. Very, very
probably
upset.
that too.
And says she will be leaving her junior artificial neurokinetic intelligence entity in charge of the house,
Also known
as Jankie. So they don't know what Jankie is. The house is like, what? They're trying to figure out what that spells as the live episode ends. They didn't put it together. And thus, that is the end of the Thursday episode. And then we move into Sunday, where I've got way too many notes. Because I think this is so silly. I kind of love it.
No,
but I would hate to be in the house
I would
right now.
also hate to be in the house right now.
So my first couple notes that we have, so like I guess before the Jankie twist, is Angela tells the house, essentially like everyone, she sees Chemo, T-Core, and Rabina as the biggest threat in the house right now, and she tells the trio to their face that she knows they're going to vote together.
But she's right. They are the biggest threat because they are the only group in the house that is ride or die. Like, you can say that so and so are aligned, like I guess Chelsea and Mackenzie and Cam are like aligned, but there's no 100% guarantee that they will all vote together, or that before going into a vote they will have like equal footing. So technically they are the only alliance in the house. I wouldn't even say technically. I would go as far as to say 100%.
I feel like the other ones are like loose.
Yeah, they're just way too loose.
Well, I mean, Angela and Leah technically have a final two.
That's true.
But
they're not like an alliance. That's just a final two.
It doesn't mean that much. Just a final two.
Well, that's not like an alliance, though.
No, it's true. It's true. But so Angela says this to their face, which I think is bold, as she has been the entire season.
But it's a good move.
And Chemo points out that this makes her a clear threat to their game. Angela has already voted Chemo out twice, but says to him that he wants him to stay, ? But that more information, more on that later for sure. And so we move on to the twist of the week. We have some more people coming in the studio, however, I must address.
Oh my.
Hello, are you here? Are you here to shadow the diary room? Welcome. You may, all the mics are on, so you could hop on a mic. We're about to get into the interesting part of our episode. When you get the chance, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am an animation major here in Montclair State. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Do you happen to watch the show Big Brother?
No, but I've heard about it.
That's okay. Well, you're about to hear so much about the episodes from this week. Any of you, if you want to chime in at any time, you have any questions, that'll be great. We may have the answers. We may not. But we'll try our best, because we're about to dive into the twist of this week.
At least we have more friends.
We have more friends in the diary room.
More friends for
We're undercover fans.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. We're now in an alliance.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys will accept it, we're a final four now.
Yeah.
That okay? They're nodding their heads. I don't know if it's true. I feel like they
unexpected
the final two together, actually, because ADJ stick together. Oh, we're gonna move on.
We gotta figure it out.
I'm gonna say we're a final two, but maybe we're lying. No, just kidding. So where are we now?
We are at we're at the greatest part of the week. So my favorite little robot, my favorite little Jankie, He brings the house guests into the backyard. He says, "Everybody come to the backyard. There's pizza and carnival games and ice cream, and we are gonna have so much fun." And he brings everybody out into the backyard, and he locks the doors to the house.
Angela's face during this, she's like, they literally, there's a slow close on the doors into the house. They're all in the backyard. Now, all of the house guests remaining are just left with a couple things that they grabbed on their way out, and they are stuck in the backyard.
I'm pretty sure production got them stuff. That was like my main thought. Like at first, I was like, what are they gonna do about like, I don't know, like who wears contacts? Like, they're gonna have to. What are we doing?
I would hope that that's something that they helped them out with.
I would. I mean, they obviously did, but I just think it's really
janky. Would you say it's janky?
It is very janky.
And so, like Chris said, they have pizza, they've got ice cream, they've got singing and dancing.
And
K-I-E.
Janky.
This is the loudest I could play this.
Love me. Jankie. Janky. Let's party.
A-N-K-I-E. Janky.
You love me. Me too, Cam.
And so we are now in the universe, the janky universe.
The janky house.
The janky house. So now the house guests are locked in the backyard with Jankie. By the way, Jankie's adorable. I think Jankie's really cute. Jankie. Just like a little smiling robot. Like,
I love Jankie.
This is such a vibe. Look at all these friends I have, and they're all like, in the California heat. I'm glad the week prior there was a heat wave. I'm glad that it's this week and not the week before, because
imagine.
Huge yikes. And so they are in the backyard. The funniest part of this too is that this carnival world is so janky that the house guests have to build their own competitions. They aren't made for them. And so Jankie makes the house guests build their own HOH comp with s'mores. Do you remember the exact name of it? I don't have that on my brain.
No, I don't.
Alas. Well,
it's Jankie's pressure cooker.
Exactly.
That's what we'll call it.
Exactly. Because this was not on live feeds. People were very upset about it. I think that they should have at least had the house guests go in the backyard during the live episode on Thursday. But they didn't do that. But they did go out shortly after. And then the feeds were cut for hours. And people were thinking, okay, this is pressure cooker type beat. And so they set up these stumps, and they have to hold a stick to a giant marshmallow, and they basically have to hold the marshmallow between the stick and another like piece of plastic, and just have it stand there and not fall to the ground. And so I don't know how long production thought this was going to last, but I don't think it was as long as it was because this competition lasts a long time.
It's like the longest competition of the season.
So I have a note too that Leah mentions the trio, so she is aware that there is a trio. I
think everybody.
A trio. Yeah. But also the trio of Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea, which is important to note that she's kind of noticing that maybe the three of them are aligned. T-Core and Chemo are like the first ones out of this HOH competition. Mackenzie, I made note, lasted 2 hours and 28 minutes. And now she is like one of the more like physical people, but this wasn't a super physical comp. It was just stand still.
No, it was literally just a test of who could stand still the longest.
But it was an important note to me because, I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm kind of rooting towards Mackenzie more so. Angela makes deals in front of everybody with Leah and Rabina and is volunteering Cam for some reason. These four people are doing the game. And Angela's just like, yeah, me and Cam will keep you safe. Or whatever. And Cam's like, what? What are you talking about? Why are you volunteering me? Which was very silly. Angela makes these deals. Oh, so then T-Core and Rabina are talking. So Rabina's still playing the game. And T-Core asks Rabina how to say something in a different language, I think. And in the middle of Rabina thinking, she drops the marshmallow. It was like her last resort because Chemo was already out. was Rubina, and I blame T-Core for Rubina losing this game. So
I think it's so silly because that's like what they're looking for, I would think.
mhm,
Like they have to conversate. Like what else are you gonna do when you're standing there for 8 hours?
exactly. And again, I don't know if they anticipated this game lasting that long, but
They definitely did.
thus we lose Rubina. And so Angela continues making these deals with Leah and Cam and then decides to just drop out, which was interesting. And I didn't mind her thought process. She was like, I already won HOH twice.
Yeah.
I got these letters from home. I got, the
Yeah.
gifts from home. Let's give it to someone. Neither Cam or Leah have been HOH.
No.
And so she makes this deal. She's like, I'm safe this week. I don't need to have these things from home. I already got it. I'm out. I'm gonna let my arm rest. And then the marshmallow falls. And then Cam and Leah, they're standing there for so long. I think this is like 9 hours at this point that they decide to switch up the game. They're standing on 2 legs and they're just like holding the stick in front of them. They decide to go 1 leg just to make things interesting. This is Big Brother.
Kelsey was so mad. She was like,
so mad.
"What are you doing, bro?"
She wants Cam to win.
Yeah.
And I love this is why I love this game. It's like, oh yeah, this is too easy. Let's make it harder on ourselves. And so they stand on 1 leg, and by the time they're done with the competition, it's daytime. They started this after the eviction. Now it's the morning. And him,
I can't believe he lost.
he lost the marshmallow to the ground.
He was so confident. He was
He
like,
was.
"Yeah, I'm a D1 football player. I know how to balance." And then he dropped his marshmallow.
He did. And so the competition lasted nearly 10 hours, and Leah is crowned the janky HOH.
Oh my. I genuinely think that Leah at this point in the game has become like one of my top. Like
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how far she's come. Because at first she was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna float through the game. But now she's like locked. She's locked in.
She's locked in.
She's so locked in, and I'm so proud of her.
And she asks Quinn what his thoughts are.
You're sick nasty. You're incredible.
I know,
the-
I know he was cheering.
But what I do love about this is what's like, I feel like always happens in Big Brother is when someone goes home, the person that they're closely aligned with the next week, now they're alone and everyone's worried. Like the audience is like, oh no, their game's going to be ruined. They win HOH.
HOH.
And so maybe this solidifies a future between Quinn and Leah, which I hope doesn't happen because I love Quinn. But anyway, that's a side note. No, but I think Quinn is going to be so excited to find out in the jury after like pacing the house for a week by himself is going to be really excited to find this out. And so then they talk a little bit more about Janky World, where, they're being forced to sing, they're forced to eat pizza and have ice cream parties. Like they're actively told you like get up and dance and go make a pizza. And they're like, please, I need a vegetable, which made me giggle because there was this one time last semester I was really busy with work and like school stuff and radio stuff and finals, and I was on a film set and it was all like pizza and like other things, and I'm like, guys, I need a vegetable so badly. And so I wasn't locked in a backyard and I understood what they meant, and so I do feel bad for them. You can only have pizza for so long before it makes you like so sluggish. I talked to my friends who are in film and were like, don't get pizza too much on your set because everyone's just going to be like so tired and everything, and they're just eating pizza. That's all they've got.
I mean, you can change it up if you want like supreme pizza with like veggies, or you can have it like
I
different
wonder what kind of
versions
pizza they have.
I think they have frozen pizza that they have to heat up.
Oh,
Now that I think of it, though, I think Rabina did have one that had stuff on it. I just don't remember what. I don't remember seeing green. That's the only
They
sad
wouldn't
thing.
do that to them.
Be like,
They wouldn't.
vegetable pizza, please, please, please. You could like scrape off the top or something. I feel like there'd be so much bread. It would be fun
All
for
the
like one night.
bread.
Not even.
No.
I also don't thrive in the outdoors. So I would be absolutely miserable. I'd be like a tomato in 2 seconds. They have to give them sunscreen.
I mean, there's not like there's shade, right?
I would be sitting in
I'm
the
pretty
corner
sure
all by
there's like
myself the whole time.
there's like the under area, unless they close that off.
I think there is some because then I
There's gotta be
also
something.
there was thunder at some point in one of the episodes. I'm like, where did they go? What's going on? But I know when they did Dire Fest, was that 2 seasons ago, where they had half the house live outside for a week and the other half was indoors. It was crazy. They
Yeah.
had two HOHs simultaneously, and neither the other side had no idea who the other eliminated that week. That was brutal.
That was a fun twist.
I kind of liked that twist a
No,
lot.
it's really good. It was
But
really well done.
one of the problems was there were wall yellers. This is not something that they showed on the edit itself.
Oh, really?
But people were yelling, so don't trust so and so kind of thing, like over the wall. Like viewers were doing that. They were going to the wherever production, whatever warehouse. People were screaming over
like
there.
people, not the house guests.
Yeah, like viewers, which is
my.
crazy. And so that was one of the theories on why they shut the feeds for so long when they were doing the long HOH comp. I haven't heard that there have been people who did that. I don't like when people do that. That's the whole point of the game, is that you don't hear people from the outside.
Yeah.
But supposedly all you do hear when you listen to the feeds is just airplanes. This whole week you just hear airplanes going by, you hear birds, and they're whispering so low because everyone's in a concentrated place where no one like wants to hear what their private conversations are about, but everyone could see who's talking to who. It's kind of crazy. But I kind of don't mind it from a viewer perspective. But again, if I was in the house,
Big Brother house,
I would be curled up in a ball in the corner and everyone would be like, "Are you okay? Like, why aren't you talking game?" I'd be like, "I just need the shade so badly. I cannot be in this sun." But I'd have to crawl out for these parties, these dance parties. And these dance parties happen at a really bad time too. But that's the most unfortunate was more so in Wednesday, which we'll get to. Leah,
talk about the nomination. RQ.
yes,
Yeah,
we're jumping into
right
that.
along.
Leah, I will mention she holds her one-on-ones upstairs. That's the closest she's getting to an HOH room. There's no HOH room. She just got like a basket of her thing.
At least she got a basket.
I'm glad she did. She got some pictures and a letter, but then a lot of the things she got were like children's toys.
Why
That
that
was it?
specifically though?
Children's toys? I don't know. I think it's just because we're in a janky world and they're like, here's a little twist. But I think she made the most out of it. Apparently she and Mackenzie were like playing with them. They're like, what else are we gonna do?
Aw.
And so that's cute, but I'm glad she still got the letters. She still got the pictures, but she's hosting her one-on-ones upstairs instead of in a private HOH room. She is being pushed to go against the trio of Chemo, Secor, and Rabina. She admits to Chemo being an easy person to put on the block. Rabina's name was brought up by a lot of people she had one-on-ones with, but Leah knows it's probably best to nominate Secor, who up until this point has not been on the block. So yes, we go right into the nominations. Instead of the screen that we've been seeing and instead of the key wheel that we miss oh so much,
where is the key wheel?
we want the key wheel. I don't know.
Where is it?
The last time our new friends watched, but they had the key wheel where you put the keys in and people rotated to find out the people who are not nominated, and it's full of suspense and it's great. But nowadays they just have a screen. I have nominated, and it's like, oh, nah. There's no suspense with that. And so this time though, there was still not as much suspense. They set up Leah had to set up bottles with everyone's name on it and had to put like a ring toss kind of ring, put it on the people who she nominated. I was watching, I mean, obviously I'm a Rob Has a Podcast fan. They were talking like, why couldn't she just like smash the bottles? Like we could have smashed the bottles of the people she was not nominated. She could have like actually tossed the ring. Though what if it landed on someone she was nominated? I don't know what would have happened there.
That makes sense.
But she just kind of placed it and we're like, okay. And so not super surprisingly at this point, Leah nominates Chemo and Rabina. And I'm not super surprised with these nominations. I think they were really easy, especially Chemo's just been put on the block. Chemo hasn't had a break in a minute. Just throws them up there. Funny note though, they all do like the hugs afterwards where they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, whatever. We're friends, blah blah blah." And then Jankie's like, "Let's have a dance party." And everybody's like, "Come on." And so they have a dance party while people are just put up on the block and people just put people on the block and they're very sad and whatever. But Janky insists on a dance party. And those were my many notes from Sunday. I was really on the ball on Sunday because I was really interested. I was so locked in, but I actually watched this at 2 a.m. on Tuesday.
I watched it when it aired, actually. It was one of the few live episodes I ended up catching. So,
But not this latest one.
not this latest.
You're very caught up.
Curious to know who's everybody's pick. I know Chris's pick was like eliminated. Who's that?
Here is our draft table. I'm
So,
showing you.
We do have a draft that we did premiere week. However, that was also our picks based on nothing, like just a couple preseason interviews. But the actual picks that we have wanted have been a little different. So, because Chris had Quinn on his draft, but I love Quinn
That's the love
so
of her
much.
life.
Love it. No, maybe Quinn, if you're listening. No, Quinn's not listening. Quinn's in the jury house. I was devastated when Quinn left, despite Quinn not being on my team. I'm a little jealous at this point of Chris having Chelsea.
I feel like even though I only have 2 people left, I am guaranteed something this week. I'm safe. My drafts are safe. But I don't really know. We'll have to see. It really all depends on who's next week at HOH.
That's very true.
Next week HOH is a really, really important one.
But
So was this week, honestly.
right now, I have Angela, who ended up being such a big wild card. I am very glad to have Angela. I'm not gonna lie.
As much as I hate to admit it, you're in a much better spot than I am.
Is
I'm
Emol
wearing-
the oldest player?
Yes.
In the house, yeah. Right now, I think if she won, I think that would make her like the oldest winner too. Was she the oldest in the house the whole time? I don't
Yes.
remember how old Kenny. Okay,
I
because there was
I think Kenny and her might have been the exact same age.
yeah, there was another guy, Kenny, Sweet Kenny K, who was eliminated some weeks ago.
It was
at
like
this
week
point.
3.
So for
Um,
Angela, her archetype would be like the floater.
No, actually.
She's in your face, actually. She's won HOH. She was the first HOH of the season, and
She was the third
she
age.
kind of went nuts the first week. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't doing so well. It also must have been weird. She's a grandmother, right? So
She has what, 3 kids?
At
3
least?
kids? Something like that.
she's away from her family. She's not sleeping. She's whatever, and she was kind of really tired to the point that the house guests let her like rest, and that's like not super usual. And they let her chill. And then it was the first week she came down the stairs and made this whole big thing when she made a stink about the guy who ended up being eliminated first week. Matt went like called him crazy eyes. I was like, I want to be friends with all of you, not you,
She was
not except for
not
you.
a fan. of-
And there was also another house guest, Lisa, who was a chef who put glitter on people's food without their permission.
Mm.
And there was this one time when Angela came to the backyard and was like, Quinn, can I talk to you for a sec? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, Lisa, wipe that smirk off your face.
That was one of the things I was in favor of. Did not like
She's
Lisa.
in your face. She is like closely aligned with people who she ditches soon, but she claims that she'll like be really close with the people that the veto's been used on her 3 times by other people. And so she's in like this really crazy spot socially where she's made enemies and people don't really like her that much, but she's actually low key, high key, one of the strongest members in the game right now.
No, she
She's
definitely is.
really
I think
close.
she has the best resume.
She just won power veto.
Yeah.
And oh well, I guess I spoiled that.
Well, we were gonna get to it.
She's
anyway.
about to win. But she wins power veto. The veto's used on her. She's won HOH. She's got a fantastic resume. Yet people still doubt her in the house for some reason.
because she's been shown that she's very volatile, and I don't blame the rest of the house guests for not like trusting her or whatever they would consider her, if they would consider her not a friend of them.
Yeah,
But the fact that she's just gotten the veto used on her 3 times is
incredible.
ridiculous. That's like one of the craziest things you could ever do in the game.
Yes.
And I never really realized it. Like now I'm kind of just like thinking about it. Like, yeah, I knew it was big, but like the magnitude was never really there. But now
Yes.
it is.
Also use the veto the first time it was used on her by someone else. The other person was on the block. I know. So she holds a lot of power.
Well, that was Tucker.
That was
Dude,
Tucker. Tucker was another character.
Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about Tucker.
Though I'd love to.
Where were we?
Where were we? But yes, great question, because I have found so much love for Angela in the last couple of weeks. For like the first week she was on my draft, I was like, ooh, this is rough out here. And now I'm like, wait a second, this is a great pick. And so I'm glad to have Angela on my team, especially for the first note that we have on Wednesday. The power veto was played. It was between Leah, Chemo, Rabina, Angela, Chelsea, and T-Core. It was called the Too Much of a Good Thing competition. Essentially, they had these candies that were big circles, and they had to just lay them flat on this table. And it looked harder than you'd think. I feel like I'd actually be really bad.
No, it's definitely really difficult.
And so they also reveal at the beginning of the power veto that there are 2 powers of veto in play. I don't know what the word I was looking for. At play, there are 2 power vetoes this week. What does that even mean? I don't know. But power veto, the first one to complete the competition is Angela. Yeah. Do not doubt Angela. That's what I'm saying. And the whole time also Angela was talking to herself. And Tico was very visibly annoyed by this. Like, please stop talking. She's like, oh, there's not enough room. Oh no, but if this goes here and this, and Tico's like, please, please stop. And then when she wins, Angela's like, she's like jumping all over the place the whole time, and everyone like pauses.
Yeah.
And Chelsea turns and she's clapping for her. She's like, fine, whatever.
Wait, we got for a second.
And then I think Cam was hosting it, or was it Janky?
I think it was, well, Janky hosts all of them basically.
Janky, they're like, by the way, guys, like, keep playing.
Yeah.
There's still another power veto, and Chelsea's like, oh no, like forgot about it.
And I
They
thought
continued
Angela was
to play.
very smart for like she scrambled her puzzle so that nobody else could see the solution.
Because T-Core was low-key looking over at her table the whole time.
Yeah.
And then so Angela's like, I don't want anyone to see what the right solution is. So she jumbles them while she's like cheering. I'm like, that's great.
That was funny.
Bro, Angela.
She was like, yeah.
Oh no, the most disappointing though was when Chemo locked in his answer, but there was a whole candy on top of another one and he didn't realize. He thought he finished the puzzle only to have an entire piece not on the table. And we're like, no, Chemo, please. And so they continue to play the game, and who is the winner of the Janky veto but Leah? Another one of my draft picks wins again.
She's locked in.
You're...
I'm telling you. She's genuinely made herself such a good case in the past week, and it's making me so angry because Chelsea and Cam have done absolutely nothing. I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sad.
I'm only so sorry though.
I'm only so sad.
Because I do have the Janky Queen herself on my team, and she
is the Janky Queen.
The Janky veto.
Oh my gosh.
And so what are they going to do? And so there's more one-on-ones upstairs, and Angela, actually it's a bunch of the house guests. All of them are hanging out upstairs, and it's just Angela and Chemo chilling downstairs on the same bench. I wonder how that even happens. Like, there's so much room, and it's just like, I'm gonna come over and sit next to you. Like, that's what I think Angela said. Like, I'm just gonna sit right here.
That's definitely how it sounded.
I'm just gonna, because she's gone up to entire other alliances, like, can I be part of this? I could be on the bottom. It'll be fine. And then they're just like, okay. So I have a feeling she just went up to Chemo's like, I'm just gonna scooch in right here. So they're sitting and they're like, wow, they're really having fun upstairs, and they have like this kind of a moment between the two of them. Again, Angela has voted out Chemo in the last like 2 weeks, and isn't directly tension between the two of them, but it is
It's
there.
underlying.
It's underlying. And
It's there.
so proud of Chemo, who, hasn't been saying too much in the game. It's like, I would appreciate if you use the veto on me. Please. And Angela's like, I am going to do what I think is right. And
But
so,
her case for this,
mhm,
her case was when she won the veto,
mhm.
she said, and I quote, it's my turn to put the veto around someone else's neck instead of
Mhm.
the opposite for me.
And
So
so,
she knew that from the jump she was going to use it on somebody.
yes.
Because she wanted to make a big game move. And it's a smart move. I
Mhm.
can't even lie. Like you can say what you want about Angela. This is the second time we're saying this season or this.
I say
this
it. I've been
episode.
saying it.
Say what you want about Angela. She's a genius, and she's managing the jury scarily well.
Exactly. I don't even think she explicitly said that.
What about
About the jury.
Oh
like,
no, nothing.
was
She
like,
hasn't. About jury.
I knew she says very quickly, she's basically telling Chemo, I'm going to use the power veto on you.
Yeah.
And naturally, Chemo's like, I don't know if I trust her, but that would be really great. if she did
Chemo
it.
sort of had an idea though.
Yes.
At least going into the ceremony.
But it wasn't like 100.
Yeah, no.
Because Angela is such a question mark at times. But she didn't explicitly say this was jury management, but it so was.
No, she's definitely like she probably didn't even realize it.
That's the thing that I'm getting at. I think she was just that good. She didn't even realize that that's what she was doing. She was looking at, again, I want to repay what's been going on, though Chemo didn't use it on her in the past, but she's been on the wrong side of the vote and she didn't necessarily mean to be. She hasn't actively wanted Chemo out to my knowledge. She just kind of like
She just thought the House would vote.
thought the House was going to. And so this was her solution to that. And I think that was great.
And very,
And
very
again,
big
if
salute.
Chemo is in the jury, I don't know who Angela would be against in the final, but if she's up there, just based on this action alone, he could vote for her
Probably
to win the whole thing.
vote, yeah.
Again, even if she didn't mean it, which is fantastic. Angela says this to Leah, that I'm going to be using the veto. Angela says to Leah she knows T-Core is playing both sides. And so they spoke a little bit about, oh, by the way, Leah with the janky veto has to play a game to actually earn the power of it. That's why it's janky. And so Leah isn't quite sure if she's going to win this game or not. And so they basically allude to that if Leah wins the janky veto, that Angela and Leah could both take both nominees down and replace Chemo and Rabina with T-Core and Chelsea. I don't know how much this was true, but they at least alluded to that in the episode.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a fantastic move.
Interesting move.
However, I would be worried for whichever of the two stays would immediately 100% be going after Leah. And I feel like both of them aren't necessarily threats, but definitely social threats, both T-Core and Chelsea. Chelsea, I think, is sitting in one of the best spots in the game right now.
I think
which is why she should have been put up.
I honestly disagree.
Yeah.
She hasn't done. What was the last thing she won? Oh wait, she was HOH a couple weeks ago, right?
Wasn't she HOH last week?
Was that last week?
Mhm.
Okay, never mind.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm lying.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about last week.
Well,
I
this
didn't
is
watch.
why Leah should have put Chelsea up, because Chelsea's the reason that one of her closest allies in the house is gone.
That's very true. Now that I think about it, yeah, no, she's definitely one of the best spots.
But now she's really good because Leah, for some reason, Chelsea's not on her radar. Leah, wake up. What's going on there? But
I feel like it's calculated though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's I think that going after the trio is the best move they could possibly go for. Now, obviously, if we had a Chelsea and T-Core block situation, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen. But then we would have
I had to.
we would have another split.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't
I want to split. I want Janky Leah to make a Janky split vote.
That's very true.
It would be great. It would be fantastic. With Julie back.
With Julie back.
So we do go into the veto, right? Leah has to play in the knock them down veto. She has to knock down 5 cans in 3 tries. You guys want to guess how many cans she knocks down? There are 9 in total. In 3 tries, she has to knock down 5.
They're also 2 feet in front of her.
Any guesses on how many she knocks down?
0.
You got to guess?
2.
0.
It was 0.
2 would have been really defeating. 0 was hardcore defeating.
I was so
She was like
angry.
2 feet. Nothing.
She like
Nothing. And I don't even. She claims that she tried. She said it in the diary room as well. Maybe you don't admit that.
don't even.
Down nothing. Maybe you don't admit that. But so she does not win the Janky veto, which means that she cannot use it. And the only veto at play, by the way, there's a silly like makeshift box with the Janky like logo. They're all wearing like t-shirts and sweatshirts, and there's a Janky veto box. This means that Angela is the only one with a veto at play. And so Angela, as we know, oh, by the way, I put next to Leah, she knocked down none. Womp. Angela decides to use the veto on Chemo. Not super surprising. And Leah does name T-Core as the replacement nominee. T-Core has not been nominated so far.
Oh.
She's now on the block next to one of her closest allies, immediately grabs Rubina's hand, and just her head goes down.
Bro.
And it was hard to watch because, I mean, first of all, T-Core's on my team. I think she has been doing pretty well. She should be on the block this week, though. And I think she realizes very quickly, okay, this is a good shot that well, no matter what, I'm not here next to one of my closest allies. And she may be leaving.
Someone's leaving.
Someone's leaving. Angela is happy to have T-Core on the block. I don't know what this next... Same Chemo, personally? I don't know what I wrote there. But Chemo versus T-Core is very...
Oh, I think that
What was I
might have
trying to
been
say
talking. I think. Well, I was about to say like something of a similar essence
Mhm.
of how it's not Angela's problem if one of them goes home. It's Leah's problem because, like, obviously the house is aware of the trio. The secret is out, and when by Angela using the veto on Chemo, she's giving herself just like it's very black and white. Like the situation is very black and white because when she uses the veto on Chemo, it's not her job to name the replacement nominee. It's Leah's job. So when Leah puts up T-Core, you can't get mad at Angela because she still saved you, and there's only 7 other people you can nominate.
Mhm.
6 other people, I guess, since Chemo and Angela are unable to. 5 other people, right? Because there's 1 on the block. Whatever. She had reduced options.
This is true.
So she still has a friend in Chemo,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no repercussions for her. And one of the trio goes home.
I think, though, I would have liked to have seen T-Core and Chelsea on the block.
Yeah, no, me too.
I think this is fine.
This is
I think
a
this is
fine
good.
outcome too.
I think despite T-Core being on my team, I kind of hope T-Core leaves for the sake of the other players that I'm rooting for.
He's too good.
Because I am quite honestly rooting for people on my team. Except I don't mind
I don't mind if Rubina goes home.
dislike anyone in the game though. I just think it would be the best move this week between the two of them to vote out T-Core.
Out of everybody in the game currently, I think the person that I would not like care to see go home would be Rubina, just because I'm not like she's fine,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. She just haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
Like out of everybody in the house, like everybody in the house has a reason to be there. She's like the only floater left,
Yeah.
I would say. I think she's the only one who's like hasn't won, besides that one AI arena that she won.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all she's won.
I don't think getting rid of Rubina means a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of keep her there.
And so,
Take out T-Core because she's the bigger threat.
Yeah.
Every time.
and so tonight,
Tonight we'll find out who.
live eviction. We're going to find out who was evicted, who's going to vote for who, and who will be the second janky juror of BV 26. And now that it is between Rubina and T-Core, this means that Chris will be a half for next week. And it is between me and our AI entity, Oswald. For Oswald has Rubina and I have T-Core. I may be defying my own draft over here, but we're going to find out tonight. Thank you so much for listening to the Diary Room. And our friends who have joined us in the Diary Room today. Everyone listening, thank you so much. Can't wait to find out what happens tonight. And the house guests go back in the house. It'll be very exciting. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Bye.